On this segment, we're talking about WFYL 1180 AM, a radio station that I believe the Lord has brought into being for this country's sake as well as for spreading the good news. And I'm here with the owners of the station, and Al and Susan Block, right? And thank you guys for not only for being with us on this segment, but for what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about the background here. Maybe you start, Susan, with, how did it come to be? I mean, you have a radio station here. It's an AM station, but, what's the theme of the station?
Well, thank you, Art. The theme of the station, it's a Christian station, conservative news talk. We call ourselves WFYL, working for your liberty and things that matter.
See, I love that slogan, and I love the theme song when I hear it about liberty and America. And, you don't hear that as much anymore, like we should, because America means something.
Right. Our tagline is the new voice of freedom in the Delaware Valley.
Well, and so in the new voice of freedom in the Delaware Valley, and how did this come to be? I mean, did you guys wake up one day and say, we're going to be in the, you have a history of radio?
I will defer.
Okay, I was going to ask Al.
Well, I especially, I guess Susan will emphasize that, am concerned about the country and the way the country's going. And we ran a Christian newsletter, Christian Coalition associated newsletter in Delaware County for probably 12 years. But it occurred to me there might be an easier way instead of mailing out 2,000 envelopes, mailers. Maybe we could get a radio station. And so I looked into it, located this radio station. Well, the price of this was like $2.7 million. It's way, way out of our range. But on the other hand, after 5 years of waiting and getting qualified and everything to, be a viable bidder and everything, have the financial backing, which the Lord provided at the last minute.
Why is it always the last minute? But isn't that the truth, right?
That's the way God works. That's my historical observations. Yes.
Well, it's true because He wants us to step out by faith, and He knows He's going to back it because you're backing Him.
We do a lot of praying, that's for sure. This is the Lord's station. We turn it over to Him. He's basically saved us again and again and made it all possible. We got some tremendous people.
One of the purposes of this segment is we want to encourage people that are seeing it for whatever reason. If they haven't listened, they need to tune in. If they can be a part of it, they should. Well, I'm asking them to also consider becoming a financial part of sustaining this kind of a station. And they can do that by advertising or just by making gifts or donations. But Susan, what's the best part of this for you? I mean, we all know that without a good woman, nothing really works, and I know the Lord used you just as much. Now, Al has the technical background as well as the Lord gave him a vision, but how do you, I know you have a passion for the Lord and what goes on here.
I do, and I have to say it was my husband's vision to do this, not mine, and I kind of reluctantly came along, I reluctantly came along.
Yeah, but you are backing it, though.
Definitely. At a little ways into it, I realized that the Lord was saying, I'm entrusting this to you, and that's a totally different thing.
Yeah, totally different.
Totally different, and it really is a joy. I have to say, it's an adventure every day. We get to meet the most wonderful people every day. We have people recording in the studio right now for our veterans program, a gentleman who served and knows Dick Winters, and every day we meet wonderful people like this, and the Lord keeps giving us ideas, giving Kim ideas for new programs, so we're excited about it. The station was in existence for 6 years before we bought it. The previous owner had a stroke and was bedridden for a year. That the price plunged, and
to 1/10 of what it was.
Yeah, 1/10 of what it was, so that enabled us to be able to purchase it. But it's been quite an adventure.
So how can people get involved? Obviously, number one, if you're in the area, and the area is growing as far as the reach of the station. But right now, as we're doing this segment, the reach is, what would you call it? Philadelphia, Norris-town?
Yes, Norris-town, definitely the whole area, whole of Montgomery County. Beyond that, we go to New Jersey. Our signal reaches Lebanon, depending on the atmospheric conditions below Philadelphia. Now it is a little weak because of all the buildings and aerial lines and everything in a lot of the areas. But on the other hand, we're streamed. A lot of people, stream us, listen via computer or their cell phones.
So how do they get the stream? They go to WFYL, or 1180WFYL.com, is it?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll put that'll be on the bottom here of the screen.
We get listeners from around the world. We
Around-
get wonderful
yeah.
messages.
That's
from
the
all
beautiful
over.
thing about today, and I know you have thousands of people tuning in via the internet, not mentioning, the ones that are local. So now there's opportunities to grow this. I know that there's opportunities to put translators in that'll reach up to the Allentown, Bethlehem area, maybe out to Reading, Lancaster, right?
Yes, we're actively investigating that. If we could get some aid from some of our listeners, we could do that. There's a big push right now. The FCC is enabling us to get translators and locate them in our current listening area, but they're FM, so they have a much better clarity of sound and everything.
Which all we need there's a little bit more money to buy all that stuff, right? So, it's time for people to get involved. And if somebody's listening to this, I want to encourage them to become actively involved in helping you guys, because this is about the country. The Lord has you on a path here. This is an amazing time in history. You're doing it. It's here. It's up and running. It's ready. We need people to sponsor. We need people to be part of the programs. And most of all, if they just want to be, if they're a business person and they recognize that this is a great way to give into something, this is an opportunity for them to give.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, so we want to do that. And anything we're leaving out that you'd like to comment on when it comes to what the station is about, what your objective is, what your goal is, and just leave us with a final thought on what people should be thinking when they're thinking about WFYL 1180 AM.
We're into launching new programs. You might, as I was, upset at the current news media, the TV, radio. You tune into one, you tune into another station, they all seem to be saying the same thing, repeating each other. Well, we're not like that. We've come up with 20 different separate programs, mostly Christian orientated. We suggested and helped the American Pastors Network launch a Sunday morning program from 11 to 12. And essentially it's gone to 150 stations now. We launched Stand in the Gap today, a daily program, weekday from 12 to 1. It's to 20 stations now.
Giving news and information from a biblical and constitutional.
People like Laura Ingram on
We
there.
have Laura Ingram every day from 9 to noon. We have Phil Valentine from 1 to 3. Al mentioned the pastor's program, Stand in the Gap today at noon every day. Dana Lash is on. I don't know if I got the times right, but Dana Lash and Scott Adams and Leonora Cravoda are on from 6 to 7 in the morning out of Philadelphia. They do a wonderful job.
Tremendous new talent from Philadelphia.
Yes, excellent. We are appreciating the talent the Lord is bringing in and raising up at this time, and giving us a chance to spotlight and highlight these people is a wonderful opportunity.
Southeast Pennsylvania has traditionally been the keystone state where the ideas, the pens, religious liberty, the Constitution, Declaration of Independence,
Right, it's a lot of things. So wrapping it up, we're out of time, but final word, they just need to call in, go online, become a part of this. Any final comment? We're praying for them.
We would ask for prayer, first of all, and then for people to listen. And if you like what you hear, then if you consider supporting our station in one way or another, advertising, we'd be glad to advertise your company, your events, whatever.
Okay, well, thank you guys. And I encourage you. This is WFYL 1180 AM. Don't miss your opportunity. This is an opportunity to get involved in a special vision, a special program, something that God is doing right here in our community.
Working for your liberty right here in Philadelphia. Broadcasting freedom, shining light throughout the tri-state area. Streaming freedom, shining light from Philly to the nations. 1180 shining forth. We are the freedom